A.J. Brown came out and said that, you know what, passing game here sucks. I hate this quarterback. He's the worst person ever. That's at least what Twitter would have you believe, because they're going mad about this business. And, what do you guys think? Is the A.J. Brown thing blown out of proportion at all? Like, we think everything's all good there, or is he pulling some wide receiver diva action and, complaining about the game?
It's kind of crazy that Brandon Graham came out and said they're not friends no more.
That was nuts.
That was nuts. Like,
on a very credited Philadelphia radio station.
Because I didn't think it was that deep when I first saw it. Like, I think A.J. Brown speaking facts, honestly. I think that is the Eagles' biggest weakness right now is the passing game. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's not like all he said was the biggest problem is the passing game. It's not like he came out and said, I must get more targets. Give
not like
me
he said
ball.
Jalen Hurts sucks.
Right.
He basically did.
Basically, but he didn't. Like, he didn't say anything bad. And
a little bit of blaming, but not like saying this guy
typical
sucks.
Though, like typical wide receiver stuff. You know what I mean? Like that ain't no problem. And he's right. So I didn't think anything of it. And then, like I said, Brandon Graham comes out and says
compounded thing.
They're not friends.
They were friends, but things have changed. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said life happens or something like that. Like
he said the exact quote is, I know 1 is trying and 11 could be better with how he responds to things. They were friends, but things have changed.
And I know he went on another show, I think this morning or yesterday, whatever it was, and kind of backtracked everything and said, oh, it's my bad. Like, I shouldn't have done that, blah, blah, blah. But you did do it. You did come out and say that.
I saw a lot of people saying that what he meant was before AJ got there, they were friends. Now they're teammates. So I do think a little bit was just him misarticulating what he's missaying what he meant to say. And I don't know.
And the other thing too, though,
I don't know. It is pretty weird that, especially Brandon Graham, the voice of the locker room, would come out and say, "Yeah, these guys aren't friends."
The most tenured Eagle.
The quote was basically they were friends. Now things have changed. Jalen Hurts is trying. AJ Brown has to handle things better. That's a summary of the quote, which is just I don't think it. Sure, maybe he went on the show this morning and tried to backtrack his words and make it like he was saying that, but it
was said. It's out there.
No, for sure.
That's what he said. So I mean, last time A.J. Brown complained about not getting the ball, what did he come out the next week and get 14, 15 targets?
Good. I need him. I'm in a playoff game.
So it's interesting though, because he ain't wrong.
He's not wrong.
That is.
I mean, he had 108 passing yards versus the Panthers.
Yards, bro. Yeah.
I told you guys when we did the wide receiver rankings, he's not a focal part of the offense, especially in the second half of games. And sure, they're winning by 1 million, run the ball, but you got to keep your receiver happy. And when you just watch the Jalen Hurts film, he's what's the word? I don't think he's doing it deliberately to A.J. Brown, but in general, he's looking receivers off. The whole, everyone. Smitty, the tight ends, everyone. He's just looking guys off and then trying to scramble. A lot of throwaways. I don't know if there's a stat for throwaways, but I'd assume he's near the top of the league in terms of throwaways, because there's just a bunch of them where it's A.J. Brown was open for a second there, but Jalen Hurts took his eyes away from downfield trying to make something happen, evading pressure, whatever the case may be, and there's a throwaway, and it's just, that's kind of the Jalen Hurts experience. That's who he is. He's not as refined as a lot of other guys as a passer.
And that's not what looked like this. That's my thing. This just feels like a massive backtrack. The year that they went to the Super Bowl, he was balling. He was amazing that year. Mm-hmm. In MVP talks at certain points, this is just, I don't know what happened, but this is a different guy. This is a different quarterback.
Yeah. It's all I've always said I'm not a fan of Kellen Moore as a play caller. I've made that very clear on this podcast. Last year in Dallas, the year prior in LA, I think his play calling super duper bland. I think it's just a lot of simple out routes or in breaking routes, and that's really the route tree. I think I saw you liked it. Joel did a breakdown of the scheme, but that was pretty much the gist of it. Was the receivers are either running in out-breaking route or they're running an in-breaking route, and those are their route trees. No,
it's not intricate.
No complex routes. Obviously, he added motion, which they didn't have last year, which congrats on that, I guess. But I think the Eagles, they're still a contender. I don't think any differently of them.
Still a contender,
win a close game against the Panthers. The Chiefs have been winning close games against bad teams all year.
Chiefs won a close game against the Panthers, too.
Right, yeah. So I'm not...
Panthers are playing everyone.
You guys know how Eagles fans are. They'll... Worst case scenario, any situation there possibly is. If this was any other team who won a close game against the Panthers, the fans wouldn't be calling it like it's the end of the world. But...
Yep. Nick Sirianni should be fired.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Win or lose.
You won a game. Nick Sirianni's got to go.
They can win 10 in a row.
Yeah.
But I do think that the Eagles get bailed out by just talent. I don't think the coaching is good.
Agree. That's why it's taken me so long to really come around.
Yeah,
on
I think Fangio is doing a great job with the defense, but even on the defensive side of the I'm not saying Fangio is not great, but they're a lot more talented than a lot of people on there. Put them, the Lions, those are the two most talented rosters in the sport, and I do think at times the Eagles just get bailed out by, especially on the offensive side of the ball, they get bailed out by having one of the better O-lines and having the best running back in the sport. And, having a quarterback that in short yard situations is a cheat code for picking up first downs. Like, they get bailed out by talent sometimes, so.
The tush push, baby. I mean,
unstoppable.
Look, expect A.J. Brown to go off. It's going to happen. He's going to have a big week. Anytime these diva receivers complain, the same thing goes for Debo. He'll probably have a good game, too, just because he said something.
Oh, he's on Thursday night against the Rams, too.
Yes,
he's definitely going to have a good game.
I mean, he hates the Rams.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, of course. But again, I'm not taking the Eagles out of contender tier either. Like, that's just not going to happen. But this is alarming. You can't be having shit like this come out. Like, this just can't happen at this point in the season. Exactly. Like, if this happened early season, you know what? We'll get over it. Like, we'll move forward.
You're
we'll
on
past
an 8-game win streak, too?
Yes. Like they're not losing. They're not losing.
The other thing, too, I feel like a huge thing that's not even being – it's obviously not something to talk about because, the topic's a topic, when it comes to the fucking beef and everything. But as a professional and, you're in a – at the end of the day, you're an NFL player, but, you're in a business. Like you are – you're part of a team. You all work for the team. Keep it a little fucking professional.
Yeah, save face sometimes. Yeah.
Why are you going on fucking social media talking about your team's problems? You know how much of a bad look that is for teams are versing and stuff like that. Imagine versing a team.
I guess.
And it's having problems in the locker room. And they're voicing it just creates a weakness and a vulnerability that
I agree.
Bro, especially in a game, you can talk so much shit directly.
Also,
I know it's not that deep.
What is he? No, but I agree with you. But also, what is A.J. Brown supposed to do? He answered the reporter's question.
Yeah, I don't know, but there's a I hate to say it this way, but there's a politically correct way for you to answer those questions.
I feel I feel like he did answer it as politically correct as possible.
You could honestly say you always just default to we're handling it internal. It's just we know what our weaknesses are. We're improving on them.
You could just be we came out and won the game.
I guess.
Yeah. Or just won the game.
I don't think he said anything terrible.
Yeah,
I
agree. But I'm just saying.
There are a lot of guys who in that situation. And again, A.J. Brown, you had him as the third best receiver in the NFL last week. Guys who are that good in his situation and they get asked that question, would come out and say, it's me, I'm not getting the ball, give me the ball, yada, yada, yada.
I mean, we've heard neighbors say that.
He answered the question as broadly as possible. He just said passing. He didn't say Jalen Hurts sucks. He didn't say I must get my targets.
That could be he could be the quarterback, the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I thought he answered it as politically correct as you could. I guess you could just say those are problems for us to figure out. You don't have to give an answer, but
right.
You also behind the scenes, he could be going up to Kellen Moore or Nick Sirianni and being like, "Hey, we got to get this shit going. I know we're winning."
Could be. He is.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
And he's saying this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And if it's not working, maybe he feels like he's out of options. Maybe I'll put him on blast a little bit. Get people talking.
Yeah, you're right. Who actually knows the depth of it? Maybe that's the only option.
Think it was ill intent,
no, I don't think so either,
let me put him on blast. I really do think he was just genuinely answering the question. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. I don't know. There's certain things that
Because I'm sure Smitty feels the same way.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
He just didn't get asked this question by a
I mean, that's the
reporter.
best receiver duo in the NFL. Like, in my personal opinion, that's the best receiver duo in the NFL. So, like, I just think they have every right to demand the football. Like, they do. They simply do. But keep that internal. You're a Super Bowl contender. Keep that internal. Who?
Jamar and T. For me.
Nah,
Not after last night.
I take AJ and Smitty.
But yeah, I hear you.
Take AJ and Smitty over them.
Smitty.
Yeah.
Second receiver's better. Like
Garrett and
significantly better, I think.
Devontae. No, just kidding. Could never.
Hey, they had a big game, man. But nah, it is what it is now. It's more concerning what happened with Brandon Graham. I think like you have your locker room leader. And
I just like I said, I just have to think.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. I just have to think a guy like that, like
You're
that's not what
compounding.
he meant to say, and it's like it is shocking to me that he of all people would be the one to like fuck up his words, but like he's been the voice of the Eagles for how many years? Like
You're gonna tell me your two best players hate each other? I mean,
Like, yeah, it's
it's
like-
probably not a good thing.
Yeah, like
So
but like again, that coming from Brandon Graham of all people, like
a guy who
that's
knows
not
this,
nobody. Yeah,
knows
exactly.
this.
Like
Yeah.
he's in the like yeah, that's bizarre.
And he knows the game. Like he's been in this shit for a long
Yeah, you
time.
know how
Like
this
he
shit
knows what
works.
to say and what not to say. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's puzzling. I think the Eagles are mostly fun, but
it's a situation to monitor.
yes,
You know, if they start falling off a little bit, again, they're
I
on a
mean,
9
like you
game
said, it's
win
not
streak.
like we haven't seen a Kellen Moore offense, not live up to expectations come postseason. I
Yeah,
think you could say the same. I think Fangio's had his fair share of.
he's a legend though.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is a legend.
one of the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Except for can't get the Dolphins players to buy in.
That's what. Yeah.
Well, that team's
Soft fuck.
soft as baby.
Yeah, but
shit.
we're 1 out of making the offs.
Hell yeah. That's
Barely
good.
get past the Jets, but yeah, word. All right.
It
Anyways,
was very
Close games all
fast
season,
defenders. Yeah.
Hey, Bryce
yeah, but
Young's,
the Panthers
Bryce
are
Young's
better.
elite
Panthers
now.
are better. Bryce Young is elite now.
Young's fucking dog.
But you know who?
Yeah, he's the
Xavier
man.
Leggett definitely
showing up.
ain't. Mad good catch to win the game, brother.
He got such a cool voice.
Wait, have
too.
you guys?
He sucks.
Wait, have you guys heard?
He's awful.
Have you guys heard Xavier? He
talks funny, though.
talk? Yeah.
No, I've
him
never
talk.
heard him talk. Never.
Bro, it's awesome. It's awesome.
is awesome.
Him talking about his horse.
Nah, he's
You
a
see
legend.
that?
He's a
Did you
legend.
see him
I
talking
know
about
he
his
is.
horse?
I know. I saw all of it. Yeah. He's a
Before we
legend.
move on, I'll just ask you guys panic meter 1 to 10 about this situation with the Eagles. 10 being you're extremely worried.
Okay. About the Eagles? Like, panic 10 being like extremely worried. You can go first.
Did I stutter?
He reiterated.
No, you know what it is? I
Word
smelled
for word
something
what you
funny.
said.
Yo, so that's the dinner. That was my mom. That's what my mom cooked for dinner.
I told you it wasn't me. Yeah.
You didn't burp. You didn't burp.
No, I didn't, bro. I keep smelling it. I'm like, because like Obi's like telling us right now like his question. And I'm
That's
like,
why.
I'm catching a whiff, and I'm like, bro, I'm like, wait, what'd you say? It literally stopped me thinking. Like I stopped listening. Everything else fucking tuned out.
No.
Yeah,
I got you.
All right, you believe me now?
Oh, yeah.
All right,
yeah.
awesome,
Anyways, okay.
awesome.
Glad we cleared that up.
You can
boys.
go about my night now.
Your name is cleared. Don't
Thank
worry.
you.
All right. I'm gonna give the Eagles like a. I'm not too concerned. I'm gonna give it a 5. I'm gonna give it a 5 because I'm not overly concerned with it,
It's a
but
reasonable amount of concern.
It's
that's
something. Like-
I'll be completely honest. I'm giving it a 2, only because and there's a very strong reason for it. I feel like it's not that crazy of a situation where the team's falling apart and oh my god they're gonna fumble their 8-game win streak and Super Bowl fucking chances of contending the Super Bowl. Like I don't think it's that crazy. Like I'll put it at 2 just because there is something there, but like a 1 would be a little too weak because there is a problem there. So I think 2 is like fair. I don't think it's that fucking deep. You know.
I only say because there's a precedent.
That's exactly what I was
It's
gonna
only
go
a
5.
5 for me because there's a precedent.
I was gonna go with I was gonna go with a
Right.
4 because we have seen this core like collapse when it matters most.
That's
before,
fair. Yeah. So
I've seen this already.
Yeah.
in a week
historically.
it could grow.
Yeah.
Grow, you know.
I feel like the next chance should be a 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna go like a 3.
A 3. I
honestly,
think
yeah.
I changed to a 3 too.
I
I'm
think-
talking about
Because the locker room could be lost and guys could be beefing, but then there's also the other side of it where it's like, look, as strictly a passer, is Jalen Hurts playing the best in terms of all the other 32 starting quarterbacks right now? No, but he's having a damn good year.
He's winning
Overall, he's winning games, and what's working is working. So this could kind of even if they try to fix the situation, like, hey, AJ, here's more targets for you. Smitty, here's more targets for you. It could kind of throw him off his game mentally. Like, oh, I got to make sure I get AJ involved. I got to make sure I get Smitty involved. So there's that. Like, sure, he can make AJ and Smitty happy, but is that going to throw him off his game? And sure, the receivers are divas. You want to keep them happy, but you got to keep the quarterback happy and on his shit.
It happens when you have Saquon Barkley on your fucking team now. Yeah. Like, did
what's
we
the
not
rest of their schedule?
Do they have us again? I think they have us again.
I don't think it's anything
that's free.
So they get Pittsburgh at home this week. They go to Washington, then they get Dallas Giants at home.
Dallas Giants are 2 wins. Washington's
they could
a win.
win out. Yeah.
Washington's probably a squeezing win though. Like
Washington's a win.
I think Washington competes.
Washington's a win.
Really? That confident?
Washington's a win.
I don't know,
Pittsburgh's
bro.
the only
$10.
This is
$10.
I'll put $10 on it. Deal.
What you think? What Commanders gonna win? Yeah.
The Steelers are a problem, especially right after this
They
whole thing
play
goes.
the Steelers at home this Sunday. Let's go.
Yeah. No.
To the game.
I can't.
Okay.
I also
You guys
cannot. But that's the
game.
only concerning part.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and follow us on all our socials.
Check out our full pod popping up on the screen right now and any other recent videos we've posted.